G'day guys, today I'm going to kick off a series where I basically just take 5 small tube stock or small plants that you'd find at your local nursery or Landcare, Bunnings, whatever, and we'll just follow the progression through. We'll grow them out over the next couple of years and we'll see where they end up. Firstly, we've got a Melaleuca nodosa, just a little Melaleuca. It did come as tube stock from our local Landcare. I've potted it up once. It doesn't need potting up again, but we'll do a couple of things to him. This is your Moreton Bay ash, Eucalyptus tesseralis. I've found it to respond really well to cutting back. You can cut it back, really hard, and it'll reshoot again, no problems at all. So I think it'll be a good candidate for a bonsai. I've got a Casuarina, not 100% sure. We collected some seed locally and grew it up. I think it's Alocasuarina littoralis, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Next one, we've got a little Leptospermum brachyandrum that I grew from seed. It's about the size of a tube stock anyway. And Alocasuarina torullosa, I think it is, this one. Seems to be bulging out at the base a little bit. It's got a little bit of curve to it, so that might grow up to be a nice one too. But I just wanted to show that you can start with just very small trees, and maybe in 2 or 3 years we'll have something that doesn't look too bad. A lot of people seem to be happy to stick these into bonsai pots straight away and call them bonsais, but to me that's not what bonsai is about. Bonsai is more about the illusion of an older tree or a larger tree. And even if you stick these in a bonsai pot, they still look like a tube stock. They don't have that illusion of an older tree. So that's what we're going to work on creating with these. So these 3 smaller ones are typical of what you'd buy as a tube stock for a couple of bucks. They're cheap as to get a hold of. They're starting to fill the little containers up with roots. So all we really need to do with them is just to pot them on into a little bit bigger pot and just let them grow. We don't really need to do a lot with them at this stage, with any of these really. There's a few things we need to keep an eye out for, but I've just got a generic potting mix. You can use whatever and just pot them up. You don't have to pot them into a large pot, just next size up pot. And as they grow, as they fill those containers with roots, we can pot them up again. And we're really just encouraging them to grow. One of the key things to make a bonsai look old and get that illusion of size is thickness in the trunk. It's not the be all and end all of a bonsai for sure, but it is one of the key things that helps a bonsai to look large. And you'll find with the size, when they do start to gain that size in the trunk, the bark will get a lot of interesting textures as well, and that all adds up to an interesting tree. So for those 3, that's all they need for now. They'll get a bit of fertiliser. I just use a dynamic lifter, a little bit of blood and bone maybe. They don't seem to worry any of these. I haven't had any issues with any natives yet using dynamic lifter. But they'll get a bit of a feed. They'll go back out in the sun and they'll just be left to grow. We'll probably come back in 2 or 3 months, see if they all need potting up again, and we'll just go from there. This bloke here, he doesn't really need anything. I have repotted him from a tube stock only in the last month or so he doesn't really need anything. This one here is an interesting one. This is a Melaleuca. And what you'll see if you look at the base, you'll see tons and tons of branches shooting out. And it looks great that it's got all this growth, but what happens anytime you have a branch coming off a trunk or a secondary branch or whatever, that join there will always thicken up. So when you've got, in this case, probably 10 or more branches coming from one point, you'll end up with a big lump, and that doesn't look very attractive. So what we want to do is we want this main trunk to thicken up just nice and evenly. We don't want it to have a big bulge at the bottom. So we're just going to clear out around the base, chop all of these off, and then it can go out and be fertilised and go back out in the sun just like all the others. I'll put these on so I can see what I'm doing and don't end up chopping the trunk off and make a right proper mess of it. Just try and cut them off flush to the trunk without doing too much damage to the trunk. Oh yeah, that should be okay. And we can just keep an eye on that as time goes by, and if any new shoots shoot from that base, we can just remove them as we go, and that trunk should thicken up nice and evenly then. There's quite a few branches coming off in one place up higher as well. Seems to be the way this tree likes to grow, but I'm not too concerned about that high up because we'll probably cut it off below that anyway to try and get some taper in the trunk, but we can revisit that at a later stage. So I will just number these trees just so I can keep a track of which ones are part of the series, and yeah, we'll check back on them maybe every couple of months. A paint pen that works would be handy. There we go. Righto, so we'll check back and see how they're going in a couple of months' time. Let me know which one's your pick for which one will turn out to be the nicest tree in the long run. I got my money on Moreton Bay Ash because I know they grow quickly and I know they like to reshoot down low. The leaves seem to get nice and small. I think I can thicken that up into a fairly nice tree pretty quick, but the Casuarinas also like to grow pretty quick. But having said that, the Leptos, they're all really good choices, I think, because they'll all grow nice and quick and we can get something happening in a relatively short time. The Lepto, I'm kind of inclined to get some wire on it and maybe try and do the Literati style that I've been playing with, because I think they look pretty good like that. But then also I might, yeah, I'm in two minds. I might just leave it and try and make a normal looking tree out of it. But yeah, let me know what you think and we'll probably get into some styling in the next video when they've grown a little bit more. So thanks for watching and we'll catch you on the next one.